That's like chocolate milk. And we're going to talk about that next, so stay tuned. Okay, we're going to launch right into this. Hi everybody, I'm Kaye and I am here with my cat lover mug that Jamie gave me. I also have a gift that was sent to me quite some time ago, back when I was in California, and I absolutely love it, but you know I love birds. And this is a coaster, but it's ceramic, and it's signed by the artist. And I just love it. And if you are the person that sent this to me, please let me know. Because I keep all my cards, when I get gifts, I keep all my cards in a big thing. But, you know, to go back 10 years and try and piece together the card that went with this, it would be impossible. So let me know if you recognize this and you sent it to me. Okay, we're going to talk about oxalates today. Now, oxalates was not on the top of my concern list. Someone sent a comment to me recently and said something about, well, is that high in oxalates? Because I get kidney stones. And I didn't know, and I've never thought about it, and I've never paid any attention to oxalates whatsoever, but now I have. You know, when you start having some health issues, then you start doing deep dives on everything. Since I still have some questions about what's going on with me, I'm still searching. You know, I got a lot of tests, and fortunately, most of them were normal. But during the course of that, I thought, well, let me look into oxalates in case that's something that, well, first of all, I'm just going to read some information to you because if you know me at all, I drink cacao. There was a time when I didn't use any caffeine at all for about 5 years, and it was fantastic. But I started with green tea, and then I went to black tea, and then I never drank coffee at home because it's too harsh on my stomach. I love it. I love the smell of coffee. You walk in a place and coffee's brewing, and it's just, oh, it's the greatest smell. But it doesn't go too well in my stomach. So I love chocolate, and cacao is the natural form of cocoa. If you think of cocoa, cocoa is more refined than cacao. Cacao is directly from the ground up cacao beans. Cocoa powder is processed from the cocoa, the cacao beans also. So this is just one brand. Believe me, I've tried them all. This one feels like this is Viva Naturals Organic. It feels, it seems like it's a quality product. USDA organic, gluten-free, etc. But getting back to oxalates, you might be surprised to know that cocoa or chocolate is very high in oxalates. But don't panic. Don't panic. I've got good news. Before we're done, you're going to think, oh, okay, I can drink it after all. I just did a little AI summary thread here so that I could give you an idea about, and I think I wanted to ask, why are oxalates bad? I think we should probably start there. They're problematic primarily because they can bind with minerals like calcium in the body, leading to several health issues, kidney stones being the first, and nutrient deficiencies, tissue and joint pain, gut and inflammatory issues. Well, who doesn't have gut and inflammatory issues? I mean, I think probably most of our nation, probably the world, I don't know. Well, food additives are by the country. Many people say, oh, I went to Italy, the cheeses are so fresh, and the bread, they've never modified that, what is the flour, seminola? I think it's seminola wheat, that they've never modified. And I was just talking about modified in my very last video, when I was talking about einkorn flour, whereas the basic wheat for bread is been heavily modified, and much to our ill health. And Dr. William Davis, I didn't go into this because I touched on one of his books, Gut Issues, I think it was, but he's the gut guy, and he's on YouTube. And so if you want to know anything about the gut, yeah, there it is, Super Gut. One of his books is called Super Gut, but the first book I read of his was Wheat Belly. And I don't think I had a wheat belly, but I read the book and I was absolutely shocked, because that's where I learned about these 14 chromosomes versus 45 chromosomes and how they modified the wheat in 1951, which is a leading reason, as he will say, of how we came to have so many health problems, particularly heart problems. That had a lot to do with it. The lard issue and the Crisco, and the seed oils had it, and the margarine had a ton to do with it too. Okay, oxalates. So they bind in the kidneys to form calcium oxalate crystals, the primary component of kidney stones, which can be very painful if you've had one. And they can bind to calcium, magnesium, and iron in the digestive tract, forming insoluble complexes. Isn't the body so complex? I mean, my goodness, we just think, well, I'm hungry, I'll eat. And then when I need to eliminate, I'll eliminate. And then when I need to sleep, I'll sleep. And when I need to go to work, I'll drink coffee. I mean, we just think of everything because we're so busy, Everybody is so busy that there's no time to stop and think about the processes that go on in the body. Meanwhile, the oxalates are binding to all these wonderful things like calcium, magnesium, and iron, but they form insoluble, meaning it doesn't mix with liquids, complexes that the body cannot absorb, potentially leading to deficiency. So in other words, you're taking your magnesium, your calcium, and your iron or whatever supplements, but because your diet is rich in oxalates, none of that is benefiting you. It's just a waste of money. It's going down the toilet, basically, undigested, basically. Tissue and joint pain, oxalate crystals can deposit in joints, bones, and soft tissues, causing inflammation, stiffness, and chronic pain. Gut and inflammatory issues. High oxalate levels may irritate the gut lining, contributing to inflammation and issues like leaky gut, especially in those with digestive disorders. And we have so much of that today. So let's see, let me back up. Where are we? Wanted to back up to the list. Okay, nuts and seeds, almonds and cashews are among the highest. Grains and flours, buckwheat, rice bran, and wheat germ are high. With buckwheat groats, I never eat buckwheat groats. I just haven't. Containing 133 milligrams per cup. Cocoa and chocolate. This is my most important concern, because I drink this every day. I don't eat spinach every day, and I don't eat. I've just gotten to where I hardly eat nuts, and I've stopped eating cashews. Cashews are not even a nut. Did you know that? It's not a nut. Cocoa and chocolate, cocoa powder is extremely high, containing approximately 623 milligrams per 100 grams. or 67 milligrams per 4 teaspoons. Well, I think 2 teaspoons equals a tablespoon, right? And I use a heaping tablespoon in each cup of this. And of course, you'd never know that by looking at the label. It's not like they list oxalates in the nutrition facts. No trans fat, we don't like that. No cholesterol, no sodium. I take plenty of Celtic sea salt. 3 grams of total carbohydrate, 2 grams of protein, and there's a little bit of iron, and a tiny bit of potassium. So it's got a lot going for it. It's just that it happens to be, this is a product of the Netherlands and Switzerland. Interesting, I didn't realize that. Okay, 1 tablespoon is 6 grams. So, wait, 1 tablespoon is 6 grams. It's not that bad. It's 623 milligrams per 100 grams, or 67 per 4 teaspoons, which is, well, it's actually 4 teaspoons is what I put in every cup. That's true. So I'm getting 63 milligrams, 67 milligrams oxalates in each cup. Here's the good news, okay? The good news is dairy products like milk, cheese, and yogurt are the most effective calcium-rich foods to pair with high oxalate meals. So if you're eating a plate of spinach, drink a glass of milk or eat a big piece of cheese. Consuming calcium alongside oxalate-rich foods, adding cheese to a spinach salad or yogurt with berries, that's usually what I do, helps bind the oxalate in the digestive tract, forming insoluble calcium oxalate that is excreted in stool, thereby reducing oxalate absorption into the bloodstream and lowering the risk of kidney stone formation. It says other good options include calcium fortified, which means, you know, they put the calcium in there. It wasn't in there naturally. In milk, it's in there naturally. Dairy products. It says calcium fortified plant milks like soy or oat milk. Well, I would never, no. I mean, don't even get me into the whole subject of almonds. That's such a deep, deep subject right there. I mean, I used to just, every time I went to the co-op, my favorite little co-op, I bought raw almonds in bulk. And it's very hard to find raw almonds because they've been gassed. Yeah. Even if it says raw almonds, it doesn't mean that it hasn't been gassed. If that's a concern for you, to check that out. The key is to consume 1,000 to 1,200 milligrams of calcium daily, primarily from food sources, and to include a calcium source with each meal, especially those containing high oxalate ingredients. Okay, so when I grew up, we had milk at every meal. I mean, that's just what we drank. And my father had iced tea and coffee. Iced tea or coffee. And I think my mother drank milk. I always thought my mother and father drank coffee. She got up and percolated, and I can't believe I did this, but I sold her percolator at the estate sale when I had to get out of my house, and a lot of things went that I regretted. Her percolator went bye-bye. She used to put the stuff in the top and plug it in and percolate it up. And I assumed, I just didn't have a memory, but I thought they both drank a cup. And of course my father just drank a normal little china cup, just a little, nothing like this. So, this is 16 ounces. You know, those little cups I think are maybe 4 ounces. Anyway, I thought she drank coffee with him, but she told me later she didn't drink coffee. Okay, so 1,000 to 1,200 milligrams of calcium daily. I get raw milk and there's not a food label on it. Okay, I just put in how much calcium is in a cup of milk. Whole milk is 276. And they were just telling us we need 1,000 to 1,200. So we need 4 glasses of milk daily. Okay, well, you know, I'm doing that now that I have a great source. So here's the good news is, oh, I was going to just tell you the amount of cocoa oxalates in cocoa. That's the whole point of this story. Cacao powder and cocoa powder are essentially the same food in terms of oxalate content, as both are made from ground cacao beans. That's the original thing. The terms are often used interchangeably, though cacao typically refers to less processed. And believe me, less processed is better. Better for you. Everything less processed. Research indicates raw cacao powder is very high in oxalates, with studies reporting total oxalate levels ranging from 619 to 729 milligrams per 100 grams. I think I already read that. So that means 67 grams per, what was it, tablespoon? The minimal processing of raw cacao means oxalates remain fully intact. Okay. Oh, they should be consumed in moderation by individuals managing kidney stones. Yes, absolutely. My advice is, if you're drinking it or eating chocolate, I mean, how great is, I grew up eating Oreos, chocolate Oreos with a glass of milk, you know. Oreos have changed a lot. I would not dare eat an Oreo today. But back then they hadn't figured out all these ways to destroy our food system. Ooh. Anyway, I hope that's helpful. Makes you think, oh, that is so good. So what I'm doing is I'm heating, you know, like a half a cup. I'm stirring up my cacao and a little bit of raw honey in about that much hot water, and then the rest of it is milk, and that's why it's cold. Oh, but it tastes so good. It tastes so good. So I hope that's helpful. I hope you have a great day. There's a lot going on in the world. We have to stay sharp and discerning and read between the lines. Don't believe everything you hear. Stay away from television and mainstream media. And just take care of yourself. God bless you. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll see you next time. God bless.